Now, last week I promised we would do the Tower of London. Next week we're looking at the Tower of London. Unfortunately, it's closed, which means we have to change our plans. So today we're going to look at the South Bank. Very, very nice place to come. If you're looking for, well, romance, it's a very romantic place to come. To go for a walk and look at the river and look at the city and of course all the sights on South Bank. Brilliant. I can't recommend it enough. If you're in love, come here. Okay, let's go. Konnichiwa! Genki desu ka? Hi! Welcome to Tony's British English. Now, where am I? I'll tell you. Here, look. It's called the Clink. Now, the Clink is an old word for a prison. Now, can you hear? This is a modern building, or quite modern. Underneath here is the site of a very, very, very old prison. Now, you could be sent to prison in those days for almost anything. But most importantly, if you owed money to someone and you couldn't pay it back, you went to prison until you could pay it back. If you went to this, you never really got out because the disease and the illness and everything was horrible. So going into the Clink, generally you had to be rescued. Never mind. The reason, one of the reasons it's here is because we are on the South Bank. The South Bank. Now, South Bank is a fantastic place to come in London because you can walk by the Thames all the way up to Waterloo. And there's so much to see. And I want to share it with you. Okay? Come with me. This is the Anchor. The Anchor is a really, 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 really old pub. It's about 400 years old. Now, the reason why this is significant is this whole area was called Cheapside. We had prostitutes, we had burglars, we had criminals, we had disease, we had all the worst of humanity could produce came here. Now, the Anchor pub was a brothel. Now, a brothel is where you came to visit prostitutes. Woohoo! But it's still a pub, which is weird. After all these years, it's still a pub. Come with me. Now, this is where our walk begins, because this is all right down to Waterloo. It's quite a long walk, so I hope you're fit. Come with me. Now, can you see St. Paul's, which is probably, I said last week, Tower Bridge. Those two, London. It's so London, yeah? St. Paul's. We'll do a video on St. Paul's because it's amazing, yeah? It's wonderful. Okay, over there. Now behind me is a place called the Globe. The globe means the world. It's a model of the world. It's a globe. Now this here isn't the real theatre. This isn't the theatre where Shakespeare put on all his plays. It's a mock-up. It's about 30 to 40 years old. However, it's exactly the same as Shakespeare's theatre in the 1600s. It's exactly the same. So if you came here 400 or 500 years ago, you would see this. Now why is it here? Why it's here? Because the king at the time said no theatres north of the river. No theatres north of the river. You can only have a theatre south of the river. Don't forget, this is the area of criminals, brothels, sex workers, you name it. Cheapside. And Shakespeare, with a few investors, built this theatre. Obviously, in those days, there was no light. All the performances were during the day. And the population of London at the time was about 500,000, approximately. Theatre was so popular, they think as many as 1 in 10 people had been to the theatre. It was really popular, yeah? And this is it, the Globe. So it's not the actual theatre, but it's exactly the same as it was before. Incredible. The guys are genius. Anyway, that's the Globe. I recommend going because it's the Shakespearean experience. Perfect. It's really good. Okay, let's go on. Okay, now the next one is a real treat. It's a real treat for you architects out there. So I'm going to show you how a building can be used. Come with me. Ta-da! Right, okay, come with me. Here we are. Now, I said, how can we use a building for all you great architects out there? Now, behind me is a power station. Oh no, it was a power station and it made electricity for London. But then it closed. What do we do with it? So they made it into a gallery. It's one of the most famous galleries in London. It's called the Tate Modern. The Tate Modern. Now Tate and Lyle were sugar producers and they made a lot of money out of sugar. So they used their money to open art galleries or open museums. They gave money away, yeah? Now behind me, this is called the Tate Modern. We have modern art in here, only modern art in here. Sometimes they have exhibitions and you have to pay for those. But generally, as with all museums in London, it's free. It's free. So I recommend this place, if only for a place called the Turbine Room, which is enormous space. And they always manage to fill the space with a wonderful installation. It's very modern, very cool, very trendy, yeah? This is an old 30s power station converted into an art gallery. Fantastic. Let's go. Now here is a famous bridge. This is called the Millennium Bridge. Millennium Bridge, the Millennium Bridge. Now, why is it called the Millennium Bridge? Oh yeah, it was built at the Millennium. And it is only for people who walk. No cars, no trains, nothing. It's just to walk from this side of the river to that side of the river. And then you can go straight to St. Paul's. So it's really cool. Pretty cool bridge. Yeah, modern. Okay, now, I've had a few requests about how many places I know in Japan. Well, the answer is not many, but let's go. Tokyo, yes. Gifu, yes. Osaka, yes. Iwo Jima, yes. Okinawa, yes. Kyoto, yes. Nagoya and Hokkaido. I want to go north, strangely. I want to go to the north of Japan because it's different from the south of Japan. Yeah? So maybe the accent's different, I don't know. But I want to go to the north. 私は北海道に行きたい。行きたい。Cicadas.